Now, Sports Talk with Brodes. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Sports Talk with Brodes. I hope everyone has a fantastic Christmas, right? It's that time of the year. It's always special to be with your family, to be with the loved ones. And also, I just want to give my appreciation to everyone who listens and supports to my crazy ass that sits here and gets fired up from all these teams every single damn day. So I'm giving everyone right now a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays. I'm sending the love. Appreciate this time, especially in 2020. It's been a wonky-ass year, so enjoy it. Enjoy the day and enjoy the atmosphere. Enjoy the food. Enjoy the desserts. Enjoy the presents. It's a beautiful time, for sure. And let's also give some love to the 76ers because the NBA is not. This is a time where we are used to watching some 76ers basketball, and we got robbed. We got robbed from that possibility. Yeah, we'll be able to watch Zion versus Jimmy Butler, Boston Celtics, all these other teams, LeBron. But somehow, some way, it got taken away from us. So I'm here for the people. I'm a man of the people. I'll bring the 76ers to you. And I want to talk about something specific late down the stretch. What Doc Rivers did that helped this basketball team produce buckets. They were able to put the ball through the hoop consistently, running the same play and getting different looks. It was a big-time factor. Before we dive into that, though, we are broadcasting live, as always, from the Manscaped Man Cave. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. So constantly, as they were coming up the floor offensively, you had Joel Embiid setting a screen, and you had Ben Simmons cutting, and that allowed so many different options to work off of that play. The Wizards had no clue what to do, and ultimately, we all looked at what Seth Curry did late, where the one play came up so crucial. Nice pass to Ben Simmons towards the baseline. He went in and had a slam dunk, and that secondary option was Joel Embiid at the top of the perimeter, and it confused the Washington's defense, right? So prior to that, though, there were so many possessions off of the same exact look. You had a dribble handoff to Seth Curry that ended up going in for a bucket. You had Ben, who had an isolation at the free throw line. He gets double teamed in the paint. He passes it out to Tobias Harris, who had a wide open look for three. You could take a wild guess on what happened, though. Completely missed it. Ben ended up getting the basket. Staying with it was flying, soaring beautifully right to the backboard, laid it up for two. A dribble handoff fake this time, so instead of coming around, grabbing the dribble handoff, Embiid kept it and stayed towards the baseline and attacked without actually doing the dribble handoff. Then there was a fake screen. Instead of going around the screen, Shake took it to the left, stayed with it, left hand, fouled, went to the charity stripe, and then, of course, it ends with that Seth Curry pass. So I bring that up. That's how many plays? 6 total plays running the same exact action to start it all off. I just think that is very impressive. Now, I do raise the question because there is going to be film on how Doc Rivers utilizes his starting five, how Doc Rivers utilizes some of his players. At that point, it wasn't just the starting five. There were others out there. But my point is pretty simple. Teams will recognize what they do when they do it more. You will have tape to dive into. Not that there's an insane amount of tape study like there is when you're playing a team for 7 straight times in a playoff series. That's where the tape study intensifies and you're watching it so crazy nonstop till 5 in the morning if you're a head coach trying to figure out matchups and what you want to do. So it's not to this lethal level of, hey, I got to make sure I study firmly what the Sixers are doing. But once teams figure out, okay, Doc Rivers likes to do this. Ben and Joel are doing this. Joel Embiid is going to set that screen. Ben Simmons is going to cut through the paint. That's going to open up many options. But it's tough because there's so many things you can do, whether it's the dribble handoff, the fake dribble handoff, and keep Joel Embiid going to the basket, not even utilizing the ball screen that Embiid sets, and Shake Milton goes the other way. So I love it. It's brilliant. And yes, it brings up the whole Brett Brown, Doc Rivers things. Now, here's the one thing that bothers me a little bit. Well, Brett Brown sucks. He can never do that. Well, he had an awesome out-of-timeout play against the Portland Trailblazers, game 5 or so of the season last year, that had Furkan Korkmaz wide open in the corner for 3 for a buzzer beater. I know that's the easy narrative to screen, and this is solid. No doubt about it. This is an upgrade. You didn't see it to this level with Brett Brown, but I saw that last game night where everyone was freaking out. Oh, Brett Brown couldn't do this. No, he could. You just like screaming that because you hated Brett Brown. And it's funny, I mentioned something during the game about how Bertans going off was a Brett Brown problem, I thought. That's what I was told, at least. And someone shot a tweet back at me. Brodes, are we going to be doing this all year? Is this how you're going to operate all year? And I answer with, I honestly don't know. I'm just going with the flow. There's times where I'm going to bring it up, absolutely, because people are morons. But at the same time, it'll die out eventually. I get it. So I don't know how long I'm going to play this Brett Brown shot card, if you will. Take shots at the Brett Brown people. I don't know how long I'm going to play that card. Only time will tell. I'm just going with the flow. That's all I do. Something else that stood out to me. Being able to go full bench unit. That's insane. We are so used to seeing Joel Embiid come out at a certain time, and I was curious how the rotations were going to roll. Well, Shake Milton got the first nod for Danny Green, and that was the first time Doc Rivers went to the bench. But you could rock a full bench lineup. You can have Dwight Howard out there being the big man with Shake, Furkan, Mike Scott. You can do that, absolutely. Tyrese Maxey. And that allows these starters to get more rest. And in that game against the Wizards, you were almost begging Doc Rivers to keep the bench guys out there because they were the reason why you were successful. They were the reason why you were actually scoring and looking somewhat reasonable at any level. But that's big because you saw Joel Embiid out there for the full fourth. That's new. That's different. And I wonder how that correlates with why he was getting tired towards the end. Yeah, keep feeding the big man. Yeah, keep allowing him to go to work. And there was a time where Doc realized we got to surround him with shooters, which would allow him to have more space at the office. When he clocks into the office and gets that basketball and he's ready to make his move, when you have a bunch of spacing around him, guess what? It's totally different. It's like you're in a different office building. But you did see a moment where he was gassed, where he needed a little bit of help, where he had to look towards his teammates. And Ben Simmons had a nice play. Shake Milton made a nice play. Seth Curry had a one-footed runner. That was a nice play. So he needed that. But this is new, and he's going to have to adjust. You're going to go full fourth, Joel. You got to go 100. Keep it 100. Full energy. I just don't know if you can just dump it into him for a long period of time and that would be sustainable. I don't know if what Joel Embiid did was something that you can do forever. Can you get away with it at times? Absolutely, especially with the matchup that you had there. I don't know if you're going up against the Utah Jazz if you can do the same with Rudy Gobert. Hell, let's take away a Western Conference team. Can you do the same against, I don't know, Bam and the Miami Heat? Can you do that long term? At some point, when are you going to have a shot creator, a legitimate shot creator to help out Joel Embiid? Back and forth action. Late. Can't wait. Can't wait to see how it all plays out for sure. What I wanted to do today also is implement some anytime hotline calls. The phone number, 856-442-9805. You can call in at any time. people were pretty pumped up about the Sixers W. So let's start it off.
Hey, what's up, bros? Well, I'm gonna talk about the Sixer win, and it was an ugly game, but they got the dub, so that's all I care about. And that's he did great. And being in the fourth quarter, he came up clutch. Tobias Harris, I don't know. People were saying trade him. I'm not trading him. He just has a bad stretch. It happens. Danny Green, Seth Curry, they did okay, I guess. They could hit more shots, but it's good. The bench. I actually wanted the bench more than the starting lineup in that game because the bench was giving you points and they giving you production. So yeah, and Doc Rivers. One thing I wanted Doc Rivers to do more is adjustments. And yeah, that's one thing I wanted to do more because that's what he's not doing in the Clippers. So go win by the Sixers and have a good day. Have a good Christmas, bros. Peace.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the phone call. I really appreciate it. Hit on a lot of different guys, a lot of different topics. We'll start with Tobias Harris because that stood out to me the most. This is a problem. And I know everyone's saying, trading for this, trading for that. Who the hell wants Tobias Harris? Let's put the shoes on. Let's pretend you're somebody else and put their shoes on. You're another organization, right? You're telling me that you watched that performance by Tobias Harris and you thought, yeah, I'd make that trade. I'd go out and pay $180 million for Tobias Harris. No. This is very worrisome. I don't think he's going to snap out of it. I really don't. I feel this is what you're going to get. Now, is it going to be 3 for 13 every single night with embarrassing takes and wide open misses constantly? No, not to that degree. But I think this Tobias Harris mess is only going to stay in the ugly mode for majority of the time. And seriously, I don't know how people can just scream and bang on the tables. You got to trade him. Trust me. If they could, they would. I already see people questioning if they should have kept Al Horford and got rid of Tobias Harris. I think there's a reason why that was not the case. I also feel, and not even just from the game side of things, but from the Doc Rivers side of things, he probably thought he could fix them. Hey, I got it. Quicker decisions. Well, guess what? The quicker decisions isn't really happening. Every time he gets the ball, I swear to God, he's trying to do too much. And if he's wide open, I don't know how he's missing it to this level. Now, as the caller mentioned, he's in a little bit of a funk. Can he get out of that funk? I really hope so. But I'm going to be honest with you. When I look at this team and we talk about the Ben Simmons shooting aspect, which long-term, way bigger deal than Tobias Harris missing shots. And we talk about Joel Embiid in late-game situations. Can he keep it up? Can he be that go-to guy? Is he going to be in shape enough to be able to do this every single night, right? And those are very important questions. But if we're going to look at this team and these three guys, and Ben, Joel, and Tobias, because Tobias is going to be here, we gotta get something different. Because I already brought up the question, is he ever going to be benched? Are we going to be seeing a Carson Wentz dilemma with Tobias Harris when it comes to the contract side of things? Obviously, Tobias is not the same as Wentz. That's more of a Simmons or Embiid. But you talk about paying a dude a lot of money, but then he doesn't perform, and then he got to sit his ass on the bench. It seriously could be a situation, and I'm here for it. If it's going to make the team better, then absolutely I would do that. Now, it's way too early for it. I might be starting the conversations just a tad too prematurely, but keep it in the back of your brain because there's going to be a dilemma if this type of play continues. And I think it's also starting to be a little bit of a mind game as well. The city, the money, the pressure, the noise. Tobias Harris is a great guy. Carson Wentz was a great guy. It's all about production. It's all about getting buckets. He ain't getting buckets. And he's getting the looks to get the buckets. And that's the scary thing. Oh, it's scary, all right. The caller also mentioned Danny Green, Seth Curry. Now, those guys I have more faith in to snap out of it. Now, Seth Curry had some moments, but ultimately, I want way more out of him. And I was always thinking about this prior to seeing them play. Is Danny Green and Seth Curry that great of a starting lineup? Or is that what you want out of your starting lineup? I don't know if Shake Milton is ever actually going to be technically your starter. It seems they want him to excel in that sixth-man role. That's what they want. They don't want him to be the starter. They'd rather him be a stud six-man. Just look at the track record of Doc Rivers, whether it is Jamal Crawford, whether it is Lou Williams. That is part of his game plan and part of his strategy to have a guy who can come off the bench and provide that type of ball handling and provide that type of shooting and scoring. So I don't know if that would ever be the conversation. So if you think about Danny Green, Seth Curry, who else could possibly be in play? Well, I would love to say Tyrese Maxey maybe by game 40 or game 50 if he grows into a special player, but I think he needs time. You saw that the second half for him was faster. The game came to him at a different speed. He's got a lot to learn. But Seth and Danny, I think they'll snap out of it for sure. Danny Green, I don't anticipate him going minus 27 in 18 minutes, hitting 0 threes. So we just need them to get a little bit more rhythm here as an offense. Get a little bit more. Because I'll tell you what, during those half-court sets, abysmal. That was garbage play. And that's going to be something that should be dissected heavily, because that's what you're going to have to do when you need to get a bucket, when you need to score points, when games matter, and when everything is on the line. So you got to find a way to get better flow, better ball movement in the half-court set. None of this standing around stuff. That's what we saw last year, where you had everyone looking, wait in, dump it into the post, and everyone hang out and wait around. We can't be doing that anymore. I was told we weren't going to be doing that anymore. New regime, new offense. Well, you had it. You had it there for a significant amount of time. That was ugly. That was putrid. That was unacceptable for a significant amount of time in that game from the starters. We'll preface it by saying game one, a lot more time to go, a lot more time to learn. But I only have one game to base it off of right now. So I'm not claiming this is how it's going to be forever, but I'm telling you that's how it was in game one, and I'm not happy and I want more.
Yes, Brodes. Yes, Brodes. It's Darius. It's Darius. And, man, what a thriller. When we needed a clutch basket, we were able to get that scheming from Doc. It was really good looking, actually. He was really proving his load. He could kind of take Shake to that next level, and damn, Tyrese came out hot in the first. I'm loving what I'm seeing, that connection with Ben and Curry. Like, they got a little something going, and yeah, we hit that rough patch. The Sixers always seem to hit that little rough patch, but we fought through it in the end, and we really came up big. So I'm excited for this season, and I can't wait, man. Hopefully Toby can step it up, and happy holidays, bro.
Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you as well. I will say, though, the level of excitement in terms of refreshment is awesome. It's refreshing to watch this team, even though it made me want to rip my hair out. I feel this new energy surrounding this team that intensifies things. And oh, by the way, the ratings would say the same. NBC Sports Philadelphia had monster numbers, had monster ratings when it came to people tuning in to watch this basketball team play. And I promise you that is only going to grow. But when you think about the three-point shooting, you brought up Seth Curry and Ben Simmons. There's no doubt that these shooters are loving playing with someone like Ben Simmons, who is drawn to facilitating. That's what he looks forward to doing. He wants to get his teammates wide open. I love it. Now, I would love for him to transform some of that mentality into loving getting to the charity stripe, because 2 for 6 is not good enough, because I want him to get to the foul line even more than that. I would love to see more free throw attempts from Ben, and I think it's very reasonable to ask that. Not only quantity, but quality as well. Knock them down. I need it all. I need it all. But in terms of him getting his teammates going and finding these three-point guys, yeah, you know what? I'm sure that Seth Curry is thrilled knowing he's going to get a bunch more looks and he's going to be able to knock those down. You mentioned Tyrese Maxey in the first half. He is so exciting to watch, isn't he? When you set a ball screen, specifically Dwight Howard, right? Because I'm thinking about the bench. If Dwight Howard sets a ball screen, who does an excellent job at that, by the way, very professional in that. Seriously, when was the last time you were just watching guys in the Philadelphia 76ers uniform set ball screens to that level? hard. And Tyrese Maxey can come around that and create. How about that outstanding pass where he uses the pick and then passes the ball all the way across the court into the corner for a beautiful looking three? I mean, that's excellent. It's not just about his takes to the basket and how he can operate in space where there's a lot of guys on him and he doesn't care. He's got that body control where he can totally utilize both of his hands and square up when he needs to. It's awesome from that aspect. But he also has great vision as well, and he loves to get his teammates open. I can't wait to see his handful of minutes every single night to see how he elevates that to the next level. He only had a couple of minutes at the end of the day and finds a way to get 6 points, couple assists, couple boards. That's what we're talking about. I mean, that's unbelievable out of the kid. You can just tell that he has it in terms of NBA play. You watch his skill set, you watch his athleticism, you see his versatility. That works. Kid can seriously possibly blossom into a really nice player for this basketball team. You can tell he has the intangibles. Speaking of intangibles, DraftKings has a bunch of them. Beautiful intangibles. The 2021 basketball season is here. The teams around the league took the offseason to retool and revamp and are ready to hit the court. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, has rolled out another one of their can't-miss offers. Trying DraftKings Sportsbook is easy, so what are you waiting for? Get in on all of the action now. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving new players 100-1 odds on any featured matchup this week. That's right. All you have to do is bet $1 on any featured matchup this week, and if your team wins, you cash a crisp $100. So download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code BRODES when you sign up to get 100-1 odds on any featured matchup this week. That's code BRODES for new players to get a shot at $100 on any featured matchup this week. For a limited time, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Pennsylvania only. Restrictions apply. In partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's get to the next phone call.
Hey, it's a win, I guess, you know. It's not a great win. It wasn't the prettiest thing, but hey, they were down. They found a way to get it done in the fourth quarter, 40 points in the fourth quarter. And they got a dub, so I'm not going to be complaining. It's better than the alternative. No, it didn't look great, but it's game one of a 72-game season, so long way to go. Just get the wins on the board, and we'll see what happens. So thanks for taking the call, Brodes.
I think that's simple, but it's a good way to look at things. Ugly, but they won. And good teams win ugly. Even if you talk about, and I don't think the Sixers are here, but I'm just putting it out and laying it out for perspective. When you talk about Golden State during their unreal runs, when you talk about LeBron James and his teams, Cleveland, LA, they go through stretches of ugly basketball. They go through patches where it's not the best, and they find ways sometimes to grind out a victory where they had no business at all winning the game. But good teams find ways to squeak out some of those victories, whether it is Joel Embiid needing to grab a bunch of points late, go to him constantly, let him attack in space, right? So whether it's Embiid having to do it, whether it's someone getting hot and knocking down 3 threes in a row in the fourth quarter down the stretch. I'm just bringing up a hypothetical. If you find a way to grab that victory and leave town, that's all that matters is grabbing that win. Do you think Jason Tatum gives a damn that his game-winning shot hit the backboard and went in? No, sometimes you get a little lucky. Sometimes you squeak one out. It is what it is. The Boston Celtics are 1-0. At the end of the day, that's what matters. So I do have to tip my cap to them, but I also acknowledge that that's not something that you can win with long-term. I don't think that's their offense long-term. I better hope not. Oh, I better hope not, right? So I don't think that's who they truly are. So get that win. It's early in the season. Everyone's a little sloppy. Everyone's trying to figure out their team, their coach, their scheme, new guys. Let's see how they respond. 2 games this weekend. Bang, bang. Saturday, Sunday. Sunday, you're going to have a little Eagles, Jalen Hurts action bleeding right into. It's going to be Eagles-Cowboys. And by the way, Eagles-Cowboys week, did anyone even realize that? I felt like that has been sliding right under the radar. Maybe it's because it's Christmas. Maybe it's because the Sixers are in play as well. So on top of it just being Christmas week, you're excited about the Sixers. Eagles, Dallas, no one's been talking about that. But on Sunday, you get a little double whammy. You get a little boom, boom. I want to see how this team responds. On a back-to-back as well, will you see Joel Embiid play? But that stuff we'll get into for sure as we discuss what we see during the weekend. I can't wait. I know that for damn sure. Maybe they can snag another one or two. Remember, last year, they started out the season red hot. Would they go 5-0 before losing their first game? So that didn't really mean much. To summarize my point, a hot start led to poor basketball, ugly basketball, horrendous basketball.
Well, first off, happy holidays and Merry Christmas to all those in the Sports Talk with Brodes family. The best thing about this game, the first three quarters, was that there were no fans in attendance, because if there were, I think the Sixers would have been pelted with booze and maybe some other things. But in the fourth quarter, they did what they had to do. I mean, it's one of those wins that you classify as not a work of art, not a Rembrandt, but they got it done. And I think you saw a major difference between Doc Rivers and Brett Brown when games are on the line. Rivers drew up plays that actually worked. Guys were actually open and plays were executed. Again, a lot of new pieces. There's still some things that trouble me and worry me moving forward, but a good win to start the year. On to the Knicks.
I agree completely. And just to go back to the whole Doc Rivers thing, because you mentioned it, that was good. I mean, that's very solid out of Doc Rivers, and that was a difference. There were many, many times throughout the last handful of years where you did need to get a bucket and things got swarmed. The offense looked confused. You didn't have great play. The ball movement wasn't there, and things got a little sloppy towards the end, and you wouldn't even get a great shot off at times. So I'm not making it seem like Brett Brown was some phenomenal coach just because of what I started out the show by saying. Here's my point. You know, people claim that Brett Brown had 0 out-of-play timeouts. Well, I just completely disagree with that, because I gave you a scenario where he drew up Furkan Korkmaz wide open in 3. They hit it for a buzzer beater and walked out of Portland with a victory. So that narrative is silly. But in terms of a 5-6 minute stretch where you have a lot of action being around, and as I mentioned, it was the same action. They had so many different looks off of that. That is something that Brett Brown did not have. That is more structured basketball, and you saw the team perform utilizing it and executing it as well. That's the big thing. You got to execute it. You got to have guys that can actually run those type of sets and do it with perfection, or else you're not going to come up with any points. They were constantly doing it. They were getting points. They were matching the opponent back and forth, and that necessarily didn't happen over the last handful of years. So, yes, from a 5-6 minute standpoint of needing buckets late, gotta have it, gotta score, gotta stay involved, what Doc Rivers did, I am tipping my cap to it. It's beautiful. I think it's fair to raise the question, though, how do you build off that? How do you continue to maybe switch things up off of that to confuse people who now have seen it? Because people see it, okay, this is what they like to do late. Teams can adjust. How do you readjust? Kind of thing. But yeah, I did notice that. And at the time, I was a little stunned to see them consistently score points when they needed to. That was crunch time action. And multiple different guys were able to knock it down. And that was definitely nice to see, without a doubt. All right, let's get to one of my sponsors, Orbit Energy and Power. They've been with me for such a long time, and not just here on the show as a sponsor, but in real life as well, as I am a new homeowner, and they have helped me out tremendously with great work. I mean, it's just A-plus work. So with over 20 years of experience in solar, they are home to your experts in residential and commercial. We're talking about $0 electric bills. They also provide new roofs, tree removals, electrical upgrades, water purification systems, clean, healthy water for your family. Just tremendous. So much. Their website is down below in the description, as well as their phone number. If you want to check out their website, they bring so much to the table. They have so many upgrades available for your home. If you are looking for any sort of upgrade, they do best-in-class work, whether it's the install team, their offices, the materials they use, the tools, the execution. It's all best in class. So check them out down below. I promise you, you will want to utilize Orbit Energy and Power if you want to make the next step on your home. All right, let's take another phone call here.
Hey, Brodes. Just finished watching the Sixers get that first season dub. I'm excited about the win. I just have a quick question. I didn't realize that there might be issues between Doc and Matisse. I was texting my friends throughout the game, and they were saying apparently Doc doesn't like Matisse, and I was just wondering what your thought on that was. He was one of my favorite players on the team last year, an exciting rookie, and to see him not getting much playtime this game really disappointed with me. Do you have any input on that?
Yeah, thank you so much for that phone call. I think that's a very interesting question. I don't know if there's like hatred towards Doc Matisse. I don't know if you feel that way or if you see it that way or your friends see it that way. I don't think it's anything other than he's lacking such a big part of his game. So yeah, you know what? It is a little odd that you go from playing how you did last year to not getting any minutes at all, but that's what happens when you don't come in with something that needs to be added, and it's not added. And on top of that, you draft a rookie who gives you this skill set that nobody on the team has. That also hurts Matisse Thybulle. You draft Tyrese Maxey. It's not like you have a plethora of guys that can do what he does. You're very limited in that skill set. You barely have any other options. So putting that on the table just pushes Matisse Thybulle farther away as well. Do I think Matisse Thybulle is absolutely cooked and he's going to get zero opportunities? No, I think he will absolutely get some chances to earn some minutes back. But I don't think it's a feud between the two. I think this is the best bet for the team. He gives you zero spacing. He is a bad offensive player right now. He can swarm you defensively, and you saw him. He got checked into the game with 40 seconds. So to come off cold, you didn't play the game at all. You need to stop. Doc Rivers called his number and said, hey, let's go out there. Make sure you go out there, compete and defend. So he was willing to not play the guy all game long and in a crucial moment go, Tease, it's your time. Go do your thing, which is telling. That shows me something about how Doc Rivers feels about the guy. But in terms of watching Matisse Thybulle slide back towards the bench, it makes a lot of sense when you look at it from that aspect. You now acquired a guy who gives you something that this team truly desperately needs, and Matisse Thybulle can't give you that. He needs to work on that shot. After the game, Dwight Howard, Ben Simmons, they went out on the floor. They started taking some shots. They worked on their game. Matisse Thybulle was on the other end, popping shots as well. He's going to have to continue to grow and grow and grow. That's not to write him off. He's got an awesome skill set. He can defend crazily, but also I dove back towards the tape in preseason games, and this is just preseason. It doesn't mean it's who he is fully, but he was gambling big time defensively and doing some things that made me question, what the hell are you doing, Matisse? Don't try too hard. It was almost as if he was trying too hard to prove, hey, coach, I can do this. Every player who goes up against him knows he's going to try and do the same thing with the steals. Now, he's quick with it. He's got quick hands, so it's hard to counter that at times when you are that offensive player because he does do it at a great level. But when you know constantly, and the tape that I saw, Jason Tatum backing him up, knowing that Matisse Thybulle was going to wrap around and try and steal. Well, it gave Jason Tatum leverage. It gave him that body control that he needed, went to the basket, ended up getting fouled. He gambled so many times. Poor play just from a defensive aspect. He was putrid in those preseason games from both sides of the ball. So right now you can kind of look at it and say it was on Matisse Thybulle's production himself. Now he's got to work himself out of the jam. And on top of that, he's got to add to his game. I don't see many issues with where he is. It's on him. It's on him at this point. I think he'll get his chances. I think Doc realizes he's got something there. It's on him, though. I don't think there's a feud. I don't think it's anything other than you got to earn it. And that's fine. That's fair. That's what we want, right? We demand too much that these players just get what they want. Now we're looking at a player that's got to go out and show coach. Show the teammates. Yo, fellas, I'm here. I'm still here. That's all. He's got time, though. He's so raw. He's got a lot of time to figure it all out. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. It's a great time of the year. 2020 is almost over. Is 2021 going to be the same? I don't know. I hope not. Please, no. Please, no. But I don't have that information for you. All the information I have for you today is just 76ers basketball talk. That's all. And that's all you need, right? Because they don't have any game on television. And it's killing me. It's crushing me. So with that being said, thank you all so much once again. And I will see you next time.